The Power Elite Theory by C. Wright Mills, How Power is Concentrated in Society. The Power Elite Theory by C. Wright Mills is a thought-provoking explanation of how power and influence are distributed in society, and it suggests that true power lies in the hands of a small group rather than being spread among ordinary citizens. To put it simply, Mills believed that society is governed by an elite, a small, powerful group of people who make the most crucial decisions that impact everyone else. According to Mills, society is not a democracy in the truest sense, where everyone has an equal say. Instead, decisions are shaped by a handful of people in powerful positions. The idea of a power elite is not just about people who are rich or hold high status. For Mills, it is about a certain group that has access to three major spheres: the economic, or corporate, political, and military institutions. These groups of leaders can shape society according to their needs, often with little input or control from the broader population. In this view, they form a unified, self-reinforcing network of power. In this article, we'll explore what the power elite theory means in real-life terms and how it explains the way power functions in our society. Mills argued that the power elite are not just the richest people but are specifically leaders of large institutions. They include CEOs of major corporations, high-ranking military officers, and top-level government officials. These individuals have a special influence because they sit at the top of powerful institutions that control vast resources and have an enormous impact on people's lives. Mills believed that these individuals shared common backgrounds, values, and interests. They tend to have attended the same prestigious schools, belong to the same social clubs, and have similar lifestyles. This shared background creates a common bond and sense of understanding among the elite. Because of this bond, they often work together to maintain and increase their collective power. This cooperation is not always intentional or a result of a conspiracy, rather, it is a natural outcome of shared interests and environments. According to Mills, the power elite operate within three main areas or spheres of influence in society. The corporate sphere, economics. The corporate or economic elite refers to leaders of large businesses and corporations. These include CEOs, major shareholders, and financial elites who control significant wealth and influence economic policies. Through their companies, they influence economic trends, employment, and even government policy. They are often involved in lobbying, which helps them to directly shape laws that favor their interests. The political sphere, the political elite includes those in high government positions, such as presidents, senators, top policymakers, and even advisors. These individuals have the power to create and enforce laws that shape society. They have a direct influence on decisions that affect citizens' lives, such as tax rates, public spending, and international relations. The military sphere. The military elite are high-ranking military officials who can make critical decisions about national security and defense. They influence matters of war, peace, and international diplomacy. Military decisions often affect not only security but also economic policies, as countries spend billions on defense, which in turn impacts the economy. In Mills' view, these three groups often collaborate and support each other. The corporate elite might lobby politicians for favorable policies, while politicians might approve large budgets for military spending. In turn, the military leaders receive funding and resources, strengthening their influence. The concept of the power elite challenges the idea of a truly democratic society. Ideally, in a democracy, power is distributed among the people, and decisions are made based on majority rule. However, Mills argued that the power elite have the resources and connections to influence decisions far more than the average person. This influence means they can shape policies to benefit themselves, often at the expense of the general population. For instance, if the power elite are in favor of lowering taxes for corporations, they can leverage their positions to convince politicians to implement these changes. This might benefit the corporations and their leaders, but can lead to a lack of funding for public services that regular citizens rely on, like education and healthcare. The power elite remain in control through several mechanisms. One of the most important ways is by maintaining a sense of exclusivity. Because they often come from similar backgrounds, attend the same schools, and have similar lifestyles, they create a network that is hard for outsiders to enter. This network reinforces itself as these individuals support each other in various ways. Another way the power elite maintain control is through the media. Major media companies are often owned or influenced by members of the elite, so the media may not cover certain issues that could challenge the elite's power. By controlling information, the power elite can shape public opinion and prevent citizens from challenging their authority. Additionally, lobbying allows the power elite to influence politicians and create laws that serve their interests. Corporations can spend millions of dollars on lobbyists who work to make sure that laws are favorable to their industries. This practice makes it difficult for ordinary citizens to have the same level of influence, as they lack the resources to compete with such efforts. Some critics argue that the power elite theory is too simplistic and pessimistic. They say it does not take into account the many examples of people from all backgrounds who have become influential without being part of the elite circles. Moreover, in some democratic societies, elections allow for changes in power, as people can vote out corrupt or unpopular leaders. Another critique is that the power elite theory does not account for the diversity within elite groups. Not every elite member shares the same interests or agrees with each other. For example, business leaders might have different interests from political leaders, which can create conflicts among the elite themselves. Despite its limitations, the power elite theory offers a valuable perspective on how power works in society. It provides insight into why certain decisions are made and why certain people seem to have more control than others. By understanding this concept, we can become more aware of the structures that affect our lives. The power elite theory also encourages us to think critically about our institutions and leaders. If a small group holds significant power, it becomes crucial for citizens to hold these individuals accountable. For instance, citizens can advocate for laws that limit the power of corporations in politics or demand transparency in government and military spending. The influence of the power elite can be seen in various aspects of life. Consider the 2008 financial crisis, for example. Many banks and financial institutions, which are part of the corporate elite, made risky decisions that led to a global economic crisis. After the crisis, these institutions received government bailouts, largely because of their influence over the political elite. Meanwhile, millions of ordinary people lost their jobs and homes, illustrating how the power elite can shield themselves from consequences. Another example is the influence of tech giants like Google, Facebook, and Amazon. These companies have enormous power not only economically but also politically. They have been known to lobby for favorable regulations and even influence elections through social media. Their influence extends globally, affecting not only citizens in their own countries but also around the world. The power elite theory by C. Wright Mills presents a stark view of society, where power is concentrated in the hands of a small group of people who control major decisions. Whether you agree with Mills or not, his theory invites us to question the structures of power in our society. Are we truly living in a democracy, or is a small elite making decisions that impact us all? This understanding encourages awareness and critical thinking. It also highlights the importance of staying informed and advocating for transparency, so power can be distributed more fairly in society. When citizens are aware of how power functions, they are better equipped to demand accountability and seek a more just system. Remember to like and subscribe to our channel for more insights into social theories and the structures that shape our world.